Hey everybody, how's it going? Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a 40-day update of my aquaponics setup. This is a do-it-yourself version. It's only 10 gallons of water, right? So this is a very small, as probably about as small as you can get with an aquaponics system while still maintaining fish and plants, right? So again, this is day 40. As you can see, I've got a pretty lively, thriving ecosystem in here now, bro, right? So my nitrogen cycle is pretty much complete. Got, here's my pH levels. My pH levels are about a 7.0. My ammonia levels, they're at 0. My nitrite levels, they're at 0. My nitrate levels, they're about a 5 to 10. They could be a little bit higher, but then I'm not too upset. So pretty much with my system I've got running over here. So inside my tank, right, I've got a bunch of different little plants going on. I've got some driftwood. I've got some substrate and gravel mixed together. Some PVC pipes, just so the fish and shrimp have a place to crawl in and out of. As far as my entire setup, I have the fish that I'm using. They're ember tetras. Their bioload is very small. Not exactly what you want to use for uh for for aquaponics because their bio load is small. But then again, I'm not doing a very huge system. I'm not feeding a lot of people right here. I'm just growing very small amount of plants. So I've got 7 of them now. A little bit about ember tetras. They're shoaling fish. They're not schooling fish. Schooling fish means that they always swim together at all times and they have a specific location. Shoaling fish, they just kind of hang out. Like you kind of see these guys just hanging out together. If you get ember tetras, these little guys right over here, it's important to get them in at a minimum number 6, right? I got 7 over here. Reason being is because again, they're shoaling fish. When the fish are alone, that's when they get a little bit nervous because at that time they think that there's a predator nearby. Because the only time in the wild that there would be no other small fish around you is when there are predators. So it's important to get them in groups. That way, in groups of like 6 at a minimum or more, they feel safe because they know that hey, there's no predators. Otherwise, all my fish buddies would be gone. So I've got about 7 around that are just chilling right over here. So so my nitrogen cycle is complete. My fish are in here. I've got a couple of shrimps flying, hanging around. You see this guy right over here? That's an mono shrimp. I've got 2 of them in here. This one right over here is an mono shrimp, and this one is a cherry shrimp. I've got a bunch of those. The reason I got those is because I want the amano shrimp to just kind of clean up like some of these the more tougher algae, because there's lots of different type of algae and you have different shrimp and different fish to clean up different algae at different times because not all algae is the same. As you can see, the red shrimp, the red cherry shrimp is much smaller than the amano shrimp. So the cherry shrimp is going to eat the smaller, softer type algae, and the bigger shrimp is going to eat the tougher algae. The kind of like the kind that are kind of growing on this plant right over here. They're called blackbeard. So the red shrimp deal with the softer algae. The mono shrimp deal with the tougher algae. Another reason I got shrimp is because my goal here is to create an ecosystem that's pretty self-sustaining, right? So the amount of shrimp, I purposely got 2 males because I don't really want them to reproduce. But the red shrimp, I got 1 male and 3 females. My goal with them is to have them have babies. That way, it's going to sound horrifying to some people, but this is nature. Nature is very metal. But these guys right over here, my ember tetras, they're known for eating baby shrimp. It's part of their natural diet, right? So when those guys have babies, these guys have a natural infinite food source, and they're not going to eat all the baby shrimp, right? But of course they're just going to eat what they can. The ones that survive, they become adults. They keep cleaning the tank, and then they have more babies, and then my tetras have pretty much it's like an infinite food chain supply, right? And then I don't have to spend as much money on food. They get a natural food source, and then they're happy. So that's the reason I got the cherry shrimp. The amount of shrimp they breed, from what I read, I don't know if this is true. Someone can correct me, but they breed a little bit more aggressively than the cherry shrimp. So like a handful of cherry shrimp is enough to clean the tank and eat the algae, as well as produce enough babies to feed my ember tetras. And then somewhere, I'm gonna see if I could find one. Let's see. Okay, perfect. This guy right over here, this is called an autosinkless catfish. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. Yep. So I've got 3 of these guys. These guys also help to clean up algae, right? And they're just really, really adorable and cute looking, and I love them. So this is my tank setup is pretty much 7 ember tetras, 3 autosinklets, which is what these guys are, autosinklets. They eat algae. This guy's just hanging out, chilling right now, and they're gonna do that a lot. They spend half the time just sitting around, not moving, and they're just waiting to find food to graze. And then when there's food to graze, they get a little bit lively, and then they go hang out some more. And I got some cherry shrimp and some Amano shrimp, and most importantly, I have a planted aquarium. So I have natural plants in here, and natural driftwood. I had a bunch of plastic and a bunch of like ceramic decorations, and it looked so synthetic, and I hated it. I wanted a more natural look so that I have a thriving ecosystem, because the goal again here is to create a system that takes care of itself. I can go on vacation for 3 weeks, and the critters in here will have enough food that they take care of themselves. All right. So this is my tank setup right now. It's doing good so far. The nitrogen cycle is very much so complete. There's a constant. I've got some. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got these detritus worms that are just hanging out on the fish tank. Those are also a food source for my fish as well. I got a little bit too much, which means that I'm feeding my fish a little bit too much. So I do need to cut back on the amount of food that I give them, and just to perform more regular changes. So this system is thriving very well, right? So as you can guys see, I replaced my pump with a smaller one. Before, if you watched my earlier videos, I had a pump that was capable of doing 250 gallons per hour, right? That was an overkill for a 10-gallon tank. I didn't know what I was doing, but like when I turned it on, you saw my water level just go in like 15 minutes. I was like, okay, this is way too much water, and this return pipe was just like blasting water all over the place. I've since replaced it with this one right over here does 50 gallons per hour. So this tank is a 10-gallon tank. It will cycle 5 times. A total of 5 times every hour, which is a very good system, especially because I'm running a constant flow system. I'm not using a bell siphon. I have one. I purchased it and I built it into this, but it wasn't right for my system, right? The next system I'll use will probably be a bell siphon system. So that thing is running up over here, and here is my current grow bed. So in my grow bed, again, this is I planted these plants about 2 weeks into my tank setup, and they only in each of my plants only had about 2 leaves each, right? They only had about 2 leaves, and some of them were like yellow and dying. This basil plant didn't even have roots. So what I did was I just ordered some pho, some Vietnamese food. It's called pho, and they always bring these basil plants along. I just took one and just planted it in here, and it's thriving fairly well. There's a couple of black marks on some of these leaves, but nothing really too bad. And as you can see, it is absolutely thriving. The water's getting filtered out. The nitrates are being used up by all the plants in the system. I might have overplanted my system a little bit, but I'm hoping the amount of fish that I have kind of balances it out, because you want nitrates in an aquaponics system, right? Now, people say, "Oh, nitrates, they're bad for your fish." Well, it requires a lot of nitrates to be really to do really serious damage to a system, and it's an absurd number. You need like something over 500 parts per million. As you can see, this system doesn't even go to 500 parts per million. It goes to 160 parts per million. So based on my research, and maybe I'm wrong. If you're a marine biologist, tell me I'm wrong, right? Correct me. But the amount of nitrates being produced, as you can see, this is vial right over here. I'm at 5 to 10 parts per million right now. I'm like maybe like 7 or 8 parts per million. It's not a lot, but you want the nitrates because the whole goal of aquaponics is to get nitrates into these plants up here so they can grow. And as you can see, they are thriving. The leaves, they're nice and soft. None of them are hard. There's a couple like slightly yellow ones, but they're not like badly yellow. These are probably going to be ready for harvesting in probably 2 or 3 more weeks. and I'm definitely excited to eat some of these beet spinach plants. This guy I don't really know what I'm gonna do with, because I kind of planted this little basil plant as a bug deterrent, right? Bit herbs that are like basils and mints, they're very good at keeping bugs away because bugs don't like their smell. They're um it's just natural defense mechanism. So this little guy's job is to protect all of my other spinach plants. So I'm definitely getting excited. This guy, I'm definitely excited to eat this one. This one's nice and just rich and juicy, and you can just see how strong, how green it is, all the veins that are going through. So yeah, so my system, it's running very well. I'm very excited right now. Everything is going according to plan, which usually from life experience means everything is about to go really bad. Hopefully not, but I'm excited either way. So this is just my day 40 update of my system. I've got my fish running around. They're eating, producing waste. They're cleaning up the system on its own. My shrimp are running around. They're hopefully having babies. There's a very tiny baby fish that showed up about a week ago. I have no idea how he got here. This little dude right over here. It's kind of hard to see because he's so small. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm gonna try to focus in on him a little bit. Hold on. So, yeah. This little dot right over here, that's a baby fish. He just showed up about a week ago. I have no idea who he is or how he got here. I don't even know what kind of fish it is. It doesn't look like my ember tetras, but it also doesn't look like my autocinchlids. But he just showed up, and I thought he would die at first, but when he first showed up, he was a little tiny dot. I could barely see him, but he has gotten so much bigger, and when I plant food in the tank, I think he's a baby tetra. I'm not sure, but he's just like a happy customer that just showed up, and I'm so excited about it because he's absolutely adorable and he's awesome. But yeah, so this is my day 40 update. You know, here's my tank. Probably gonna do another update when I'm ready to harvest my plants and eat, and see if I take too many leaves off and I kill my plants by mistake. But yeah, this is a nice little at-home project, little good system. Got these little PVC pipes on the bottom so that my shrimp and fish have more hiding spaces. Remember, if you're building a small tank like this one, and you have small critters like these guys, remember, in the natural wild, they need places to hide. The more places to hide that you give them, the better. So you have to create as many hiding spots as possible. So these little PVC pipes, sometimes my fish swim in and out of it. It's hard to get footage of it because they either don't always stay, or when they do stay inside, they're at an angle that I can't really get a good video in. I've been trying to get one for a long time. Hopefully these guys swim in, but I doubt they're gonna do that. It's mostly the shrimp and the ottos that get inside there. But you can see my system is doing well so far. Hopefully it stays doing well. I've got, and then I'll give you guys another update as soon as I can. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you guys see anything that I'm doing incorrectly or I could work to improve upon, let me know. Again, so this is a 10-gallon tank with a 6-quart grow bed. I could definitely put a bigger grow bed in there if I want to, but I'm kind of happy with the way things are running right now. If this goes well by the end of December, I'm probably gonna build a bigger system with like a 40-gallon tank and see about playing around with that. But for now, this is my little 10-gallon aquaponics setup, and I'm very happy with what I've built here. Thank you very much, folks.